Michael Tortoni is, well, the man who puts the Melbourne International Jazz Festival together and has been doing so for, what, a number of decades now. What are we at, the 21st birthday now, Michael?
I've been on the board since 2001, so it's 21 years.
Oh.
And I've been its artistic director for about 13 years. So I've been around for a while.
Well, we got to 2020, early 2020, and everything went pear-shaped with COVID then. You managed to put a lot of it online, which was great. 2021 was sort of a cut-down version, and here we are in 2022 with really the first full Melbourne International Jazz Festival since 2019.
As you know, it's been a tricky journey the last couple of years. And it's amazing. It's like 2 years disappeared. So it's great to have a full program of internationals and a full festival program actually. And this year, we're even expanded into the Maya Music Bowl. So it's going to be, that's really exciting actually.
The artists that you have here, I mean, with the international caliber, Al Di Meola, which is going to be incredible for a start, and also Layla Hathaway, who I'm really looking forward to seeing, because she will be with the Melbourne Symphony Orchestra.
Yeah, two shows. I mean, she's a Grammy, 5-time Grammy Award winner, I think. But she's such an incredible artist in her own right. But of course, her pedigree is just unbelievable, and she's going to be actually exploring the songs of her father's incredible career, Donny Hathaway. So coupled with the MSO, it should be unforgettable, really.
So, apart from the international acts, also the Australian acts, when we look at people like the Bamboos, for instance, who I guess, are regulars to our stages down here, Fat Freddy's Drop, even though they're from New Zealand. We've got a fairly great balance of international and local acts this year.
Yeah, well, that big Saturday, and they're Fat Freddy, the headline act, with the Bamboos on that bill, Emma Donovan, Harry Angus from the Cat Empire. So it's a great bill, and it's pretty much an all-day event, and it's our first time venturing into the Maya Music Bowl, and that concert has sold so incredibly well. It's staggering for us as well. So it looks like we'll fill the venue.
Wow.
Which is a big step in. I've always wanted to sort of expand into arena type festival gigs. And this is the first one of that sort of type, that size, that we're putting on, and it's gone incredibly well. We've already sold, pretty much, not sold out, but we're on the way.
How far out had you been working on the lineup for 2022? How much of 2021 has moved into 2022? And, what fell apart over 2020 and 2021 that we won't be getting back again?
2021, really, it's only Fat Freddy's Drop that needed to be postponed, and that's been fine. But in terms of getting back, I mean, we're always trying and negotiating with internationals continually. So it's not as though we won't get something back. It's just a question of timing.
I'm always disappointed we don't get Taste with the Melbourne Symphony Orchestra. I mean, it's just waiting to happen, Michael.
I'll just digress for a second and talk about Taste just for a moment, because you brought it up. I was going to try and keep my mouth shut, but we actually have a new album that's going to be launched early next year, and we've already got about 30 gigs for next year in the book. And we're touring with a few internationals, and we're opening for them, and that's how we'll do our launch. But I actually have a quintet that plays at the Jazz Lab,
Mm-hmm.
and the plan for the quintet is to do some taste material in a
Oh,
jazz
wow.
setting. So this is a precursor to the whole symphony orchestra and taste. Ken Murdoch would love it because
Oh,
he's got
look,
such a great ear for composition.
this is pretty exciting about another album for Taste and the international acts. Who will you be performing with next year?
It's called Fighting Gravity, the new album. They've got us down with, I don't know whether you know these artists. They had some big hits in the day. Donny Vi and a band called Winger.
Oh, Winger coming out. Okay.
Yeah, so we're opening for both those bands, and and then there's a few festival type shows that our recording distribution label MR Records have got us involved in. So they've got it all up about 30 dates so far. So it's going to be a busy year for Taste next year.
So with 21 years now behind you, looking back at the various schedules over those years, what are your highlights?
Highlights. Herbie Hancock, of course, was amazing. At 81 at Hamer Hall, he was still doing star jumps. So Herbie Hancock, the band that really, not many people know this, but we really broke Snarky Puppy. Their first time out to Australia, maybe a decade ago, they were just begging sort of for air flight fees and just get us into Australia, and then after that they just went from strength to strength. Wayne Shorter and Children of the Light Trio with Danilo Perez, John Patitucci on bass, and Brian Blade on drums. And the other thing that really blew my mind was Esperanza Spalding. She did a forum gig, which was great, in a special project that she had. But then we persuaded her to do a trio gig at the club at Bennett's Lane, and I just remember standing there. And she's a virtuoso double bass player and electric bass player and singer, and she was just singing Betty Carter tunes and soloing on the bass, and it was just unbelievable. Such a naturally talented individual. It was just incredible. That was probably in many ways the highlight for me. Esperanza Spalding playing at Bennett's Lane Jazz Club.
So Melbourne International Jazz Festival, 14th to 23rd of October. And just, I guess, Google
Actually,
Melbourne.
and that's interesting. You actually drew out of me my highlight over all those years. I hadn't thought about it until you asked me that question, but that's what it is. It's Esperanza.
Wow. Excellent stuff. Well, Michael, good to see you again, and thank you for your update of a very exciting music event coming up for Melbourne.
Yes, always a pleasure, and we should talk about Taste at some point.
We can do that whenever you want.
Okay, thanks, Paul.
We can do that. As soon as you announce it, we'll talk about it.